There's a reason certain rooms drain you the moment you walk into them, and certain people leave you exhausted after a single conversation. Most empaths blame their sensitivity. They think something is wrong with their nervous system, that they're too porous, too reactive, too much. But what if the exhaustion was never about your emotions at all? What if you've been operating a powerful instrument your entire life without ever being told it existed? Carl Jung spent decades exploring a dimension of the psyche that most people never touch. He called it the collective unconscious, a field of shared energy and meaning that connects human beings beneath the surface of their individual minds. And what he discovered there points to something empaths have always felt, but never had language for. You are not simply feeling other people's emotions. You are registering the field they carry with them. Today I'm going to show you what Jung understood about this invisible field, why empaths are wired to sense it before anyone else does, and how learning to read it instead of absorb it changes everything about the way you move through the world. Jung noticed something in his most sensitive patients that he couldn't explain through ordinary psychology. They would walk into his consulting room, and before a single word was spoken, they already knew. They knew when he was tired. They knew when a previous patient had left grief in the room. They picked up information that had no logical channel to reach them through. Jung realized these people weren't guessing. They were perceiving. They were tuned to something that operates below language, below expression, below the visible signals everyone else relies on. He came to believe that every human being radiates a field, a subtle atmosphere shaped by their inner state. Most people move through life completely blind to it, but the empath is different. The empath was born with the receiver already switched on. Where others hear silence, the empath hears the entire orchestra. This is the first thing empaths don't know about their quantum field. What you've spent your life calling a weakness is actually a form of perception that most people don't possess. You are not broken. You are not oversensitive. You are simply reading a layer of reality that others have been trained to ignore. But here is where it becomes dangerous, and here is why so many empaths suffer. When you can feel the field of another person, your instinct is to merge with it. You feel their anxiety, and it becomes your anxiety. You feel their sadness, and it becomes your weather for the day. You walk away from a conversation carrying a mood that was never yours to begin with, and you have no idea where you end and where the other person begins. Jung understood this danger precisely. He warned that the person who cannot distinguish their own psyche from the collective field around them becomes flooded. They lose the center of themselves. They become a mirror for everyone and a home for no one. The empath in this flooded state isn't reading the field anymore, they're drowning in it. This is the difference between an empath who is exhausted and an empath who is awake. The exhausted empath absorbs. The awakened empath observes. The exhausted empath takes in every signal as if it were their own responsibility. The awakened empath receives the same signal and simply notes it, the way a radio notes a frequency without becoming the song. The shift from absorbing to observing is the entire work, and Jung believed it happened through one crucial act: consciousness. The moment you become conscious that a feeling belongs to the field and not to you, its power over you dissolves. You stop asking, "Why am I so anxious?" and you start asking, "Whose anxiety am I standing in?" That single change in question is the beginning of your sovereignty. Think about what this means in practice. You walk into a gathering and the heaviness hits you immediately. The old you would have spent the evening trying to fix it, soothing every tension, absorbing every unspoken conflict until you went home hollow. The awakened you feels the same heaviness, recognizes it as information rather than instruction, and remains untouched. You can be in the room without becoming the room. You can feel the field without letting it write your emotions for you. Jung called the endpoint of this process individuation, the slow work of becoming genuinely yourself, distinct and whole, no longer dissolved into the crowd. For the empath, individuation has a very specific meaning. It means learning to hold your own frequency so steadily that other fields can pass through you without changing your signal. You feel everything, but you are moved only by what you choose to be moved by. This is what empaths don't know. Your field is not just a receiver, it is also a transmitter. And this is the part that changes everything. When you stop leaking your energy into every anxious room, when you stop broadcasting worry and self-doubt and the desperate need to be liked, you begin to emit something else entirely. Calm, clarity, a steady presence that other people feel the moment you enter. You become the person who changes the room instead of the person the room changes. Jung observed that individuals who reached this kind of inner solidity had a visible effect on others. People felt safer around them without knowing why. Conflict softened in their presence. They didn't have to say anything. Their field did the work. This is the empath's true power, and almost none of them ever access it because they spend their entire lives on the receiving end, never realizing they were meant to broadcast. The empaths who understand this stop apologizing for what they feel. They stop treating their sensitivity as a flaw to be managed and start treating it as an instrument to be mastered. They learn to walk into a difficult space and, instead of asking, "How do I survive this?" they ask, "What am I here to transmit?" They protect their frequency the way a musician protects a tuned instrument, because they understand that a field is only useful when it holds its own note. If you've spent your life feeling like you take on too much, absorbing every mood, carrying feelings that were never yours, this is what has been happening. Your field was open, and no one taught you how to work with it. That ends the moment you understand what you're holding. You were never too sensitive. You were highly tuned and left without an instruction manual. You were never weak for feeling everything. You were reading a layer of reality most people are deaf to, and you were never meant to drown in other people's fields. You were meant to hold your own so clearly that the world reorganizes itself around your calm. You are not a sponge, you are a signal. And once you know that, nothing that touches your field ever gets to decide who you are again.